Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So in today's video, we got an update for AMD CPUs dying, majority of them on Asrock motherboards. And this is an update from about a month ago. I made a video back in February 26th about how Asrock or AMD CPUs were just dying on startup, on boots, dead from factory, or who knows what was going on back then. So this is a little update on that video. So this is on the Guru of 3D. So addressing recent technical concerns, Asrock has released a detailed statement regarding boot failures on systems utilizing AM5 socket. Motherboards with AMD Ryzen processors, specifically those from Ryzen 9000 series, and a majority of them were 9800X 3Ds. The company's investigation centered on issues where certain configurations failed to initialize properly. The resolution involved the deployment of BIOS version 3.20, which refines memory compatibility and ensures successful system boot up. Internal evaluations demonstrate that earlier BIOS versions did not pose any risk to processor integrity, thereby dissociating firmware performance issues from any incidents of physical damage to the CPUs. In a separate analysis of a case where CPU display burn-in characteristics, that's part of the thumbnail there. Asrock's engineers performed an exclusive diagnostic on the affected motherboard. So Asrock actually took initiative on this and took diagnostics on the affected motherboard. The analysis involved examining voltage regulator modules and other critical components that could affect actual voltages going to the CPU and might have caused it to actually burn up. Findings indicated that the motherboard was within its specified operational range, and no damage was observed on the VRMs or related circuitry. After cleaning the socket and installing an alternative CPU, the system booted normally and passed rigorous stress testing. This sequence of tests confirmed that the apparent damage was attributed to a defective CPU rather than an issue stemming from the motherboard or its firmware. Again, I stated this in my last video that it's kind of odd that there are dying CPUs, and majority of them being 9800X3Ds from retailers, just dead on arrival and or just stopped working with boot up. So that was probably AMD's fault, not the motherboard manufacturer's fault. But again, that was speculating, and now we're getting a little bit more information as time progresses. So again, here is the picture of the burnt CPU LGA pads and the burnt out pins of the motherboard. So pretty crazy. So before cleaning, photo from Reddit. This is a photo from Reddit. I just showed all this before. And this is after cleaning. Apparently it looks just fine. I don't know how we can go from a diagonal pins that are completely burnt out to just a vertical pins that they look okay, but they're not perfect. Not sure how we can go from this to that, but whatever. Let's continue. Drew's experiencing boot failures on Asrock AM5 motherboards when paired with Ryzen 9000 processors are advised to update the BIOS to version 3.2 or newer. Should the boot issue continue post-update, further technical assistance is available through Asrock support services. So Asrock is doing their due diligence, trying to do what they can to help out the customers with their motherboards. So here we go. Got their little test bench set up. Everything's working. I'm not sure how things change from there to there, but whatever. We are aware of a number of cases where some AMD CPUs have boot issues with specific BIOS versions. In case with Asrock motherboards involving damaged CPUs, we are taking these incidents seriously and have reached out to many of the affected users to gather information. We have obtained some of the motherboards through thorough inspection. One, a retrieved motherboard was in a system where the CPU showed burnt damage. When inspecting this mother, we found that the motherboard does not have obvious damage nor burn marks around the VRM areas. Measurements of the motherboard are also within spec. After cleaning and removing debris from the CPU socket without further repair, the motherboard can boot up successfully. With original onboard BIOS, it also passed long-term stress tests. Okay. With some BIOS versions, we have noticed some systems are not being able to boot with random 9000 series CPUs. BIOS 3.20 fixes this issue by improving memory. Again, Asrock is saying it's a memory compatibility that's making it so they don't boot up and or crash. So yeah, we'll have to see in the future if this is actually true or not for that. The release of BIOS 3.2 is not related to the CPU damage. All BIOS versions, including earlier iterations, will not cause CPU damage. If you're facing any trouble, please reach out to us via support from our website. So that is the update for that. There's not much being said on the actual Reddit page, but we can go back through that. So we're back on the Reddit page where this was more or less brought to light by people. About 72 people were reporting that their CPUs were not working. Majority of them were in Asrock motherboards. And majority of them were 9800X 3Ds, but not limited to 9800X 3Ds. So Topley, I have another go at clarifying this. I'm the customer in this case. There was no sign of debris in the socket prior to installing the CPU. The system was running fine for 20 days until the CPU broke. When that happened, it got so hot that CPU pads connecting with the pins in the socket were melted off of the CPU, and the pads had then stuck themselves to the pins in the socket. That is the debris that was cleaned off before revival, and that is what you see in the picture on the left, which was taken by me basically right after I had dismounted it. I'll bet quality might be downscaled from the original picture I uploaded to Reddit. You can still see the missing pads on the CPU that are now on the pins in the socket. Once they removed those, the motherboard was functional once again. Now, some have speculated they have returned it to me. No, Asrock contacted me to replace the board and retrieve the burned board. They did so within 24 hours of me posting on Reddit. They have been communicating with me during the process of diagnosing the board to get more detailed information on my setup. That's nice of Asrock there. Routines and whatnot as to replicate the scenario in which the CPU burns. So far, they have not been able to replicate the incident. The motherboard just runs as if nothing ever happened. Again, from the pictures from what I saw there, from the pins being on a diagonal, completely messed up, and then all of a sudden vertical, as you can see in the picture from the left to the right before. The pins on the right side are vertical that are slightly off, and the ones that have been affected from the previous picture is kind of on a diagonal, and they look like they are completely burnt out. So I don't know how they did that, but might I digress? So all of you, I asked, does that sound like the motherboard was the issue, or maybe just an unlucky CPU from a half bad batch? We cannot say for sure, but to me at least, it's indicative towards the latter. Bad CPU, more or less, is what they're trying to say for that. In any case, Asrock is eager to figure out what caused the issue with CPUs refusing boot and the issue with burning CPUs. Those are likely not related. They spend time and money on mine and other similar cases, probably due to the severity of it, but nonetheless, they make these efforts to make sure that the hardware is safe and reliable, and I guess not least to make me, the customer, happy despite the experience I've had with their product. Again, that's good customer service right there from Asrock. In all fairness, I think Asrock is doing everything they can. I've seen a lot of other players in the industry not care a bunch about customers nor their faulty hardware. So to be clear, there is no conclusive answer as to why this happened, or even if it's an isolated incident, which it could easily be. Asrock and AMD have both been very supportive and replacement components right away. So that was the latest post up there, and that was about 16 hours ago. So Conclusion on this, from the recent post that I read and the the video that I posted February 26th about this incident about Asrock boards causing this, and how I speculated that it was probably from AMD side. It could be from AMD side having a faulty CPU. Something is shorting it, shorted, so some sort of transistor or something is shorted in the CPU itself. And when put into the board, it might not be shown right away and might be down the line when things start being worked into the CPU. Might cause it to actually short out the motherboard and CPU at the same time. Now, from these pictures here that I'm seeing up above, again, this is the bad CPU. This is the speculated CPU. This is the one at fault right now. As you can see here, it's kind of on a diagonal for down here, and the top here is on a vertical. And down here, we see that the pins are slightly on the vertical side of it, and there's no diagonal whatsoever. And all they did, apparently, as you can see here, apparently all they did was clean up this board. But as you can see, these pins look like they are completely gone and or burnt out of the board from on the diagonal and the one up here. So I'm not sure how things change from this CPU and this motherboard to this motherboard, but that could just be me. Let me know in the comment section below if you think this is also kind of odd to see, how we got a diagonal here with these pins look like they're completely gone. These LGA pads, again, are completely gone, so it would have melted these pins as well. And then we got this side over here with the board being cleaned up by Asrock, and these pins are on a vertical. So I'm not sure how that corresponds to this picture here. Let me know in the comment section below if you think this is true or not. Again, there has been over 72 different reports on this, and a lot of people are saying it's nothing to worry about in that. But 72 people have had issues with their 9000X3Ds or 9000 series AMD Ryzen CPUs. Majority of them in Asrock boards, but not limited to. So MSI also had issues as well. So we'll have to see here in the future if this is going to progress further, and if Asrock has going to confirm the actual issues, if they can actually replicate this as they are trying to replicate this issue. Yeah, so that's a big one, and I hope you guys enjoy this little update on AMD CPUs just dying out of the blue, the Ryzen 9000 CPUs basically. So let me know in the comment section below what you think there. As always, thank you to all my viewers, subscribers, and donators. You guys help out this channel greatly. If you're not part of the Discord channel, so definitely take a look there. If you're not part of the Patreon page, definitely take a look there. I'm also on Instagram if you want to go check that out. And I also have a PayPal donation for the channel. So if you would like to help out this channel and help fund this channel to keep growing and keep successing in all these leaks and updates and PC hardware overclocking and all of that, please let me know. It'd be great. It'd be great to have more people into the actual community that likes to see these kind of videos, likes these true facts, likes all of this effort put into these videos to give the customers and to give PC hardware enthusiasts the information that they need. So again, thank you all for watching, and as always, don't forget to get her done.